How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We have news about Bitcoin, a new country possibly adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. We also have some big purchases happening across Bitcoin land, even outside of MicroStrategy. They announced a 55,000 Bitcoin buy this morning. We have other companies that are talking about buying some more Bitcoin. We have Sui actually integrating Bitcoin into their DeFi ecosystem and an XRP ETF. A lot to cover. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one as soon as they come out. Also, if you want to trade crypto, there's a link underneath the video to BTCC. We seem to be at a pretty key support level, as you can see here. And, we have bounced against this region a couple times. Actually, we had some resistance around 95K, got rejected back down, came back above, maybe setting a new low here, maybe bouncing. Of course, who knows? I can't see the future, but we have bounced against this level several times. Actually, I was just trading today and made a nice trade using this line as support. So if you want to check this out, there's a link to BTCC underneath the video. There's a deposit bonus and you get lower trading fees using that link. Of course, make sure that you do your own due diligence, read the terms and conditions before you start trading. Now, crypto. Looking a little bit red today, looking a little bit red. Bitcoin's at 95,000, just kind of bouncing around there. All of a sudden, Ethereum's actually outperforming a little bit of a bounce there. But we do have some pullbacks. You can see XRP still looking good at $1.45. Actually, yesterday, I talked about a trade that I put on there at 127, looking really pretty now. But yeah, most of the market is down here today. We are getting good news, though. Keep in mind, Bitcoin's value continues to go up. Even if the dollar conversion rate does not go up, the fact is Bitcoin's inherent value continues to move up over time. We are getting closer and closer to the next halving. As you can see, we're 15% of the way there. I know it sounds like we just had the halving, but we're already 15% of the way to the next halving, which is absolutely insane. But we had some news here today. MicroStrategy bought 55,000 Bitcoin. I covered that in one of my recent videos. They bought 55,000 Bitcoin for 5.5 billion, something like that. HUT8 now says we already hold 9,100 Bitcoin on our balance sheet. Should we increase our Bitcoin reserves? I believe it was Mara last week that bought a fat stack of Bitcoin, but now the CEO of HUT8 is saying, should we buy? Should we buy some more? And everyone saying, yes, grow the Bitcoin reserve. And of course, they would not put this poll up unless they were already going to buy Bitcoin, right? They're not taking investment advice from Twitter. They already know what everyone's going to say. They already are ready to buy some more Bitcoin. So yeah, another Bitcoin miner buying more Bitcoin. They have access to the supply of Bitcoin. And I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense for a lot of these Bitcoin miners to pivot the strategy a little bit, to be a little bit heavier on Bitcoin and maybe invest into Bitcoin directly instead of just piling everything into the Bitcoin miners. Because when you just think about it, when you pile money into Bitcoin miners, you naturally have to sell off some of your Bitcoin over time because you need to pay for expenses. Now, maybe you can get bond offerings, maybe you can raise debt and that kind of stuff, but a lot of these miners have to sell to pay for these different things. When you just buy Bitcoin, you can raise debt, you can sell shares, and that's it. You hold more Bitcoin. Think about the other side of this too. With more nations probably going to get into Bitcoin, eventually they're going to say, we want to also mine Bitcoin. We have a lot of power in these certain locations. We can pretty much do it for free. We can do it with taxpayer money. Let's mine some more Bitcoin. So I think it's going to get much more competitive, even from where it is now in the Bitcoin mining space, which means less profit for these miners. So you might as well buy some Bitcoin while you can instead of just mining, in my opinion. That's, I'm not the most knowledgeable person on these kinds of things, but I think it makes sense how some of these companies are pivoting to make sure that they have more Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Semler Scientific also bought some more Bitcoin here today. They bought another 29.1 million Bitcoin since adopting the strategy on May 28, 2024. The company has bought 117 million. Keep in mind, Semler Scientific stock is about a $483 million market cap. Year to date, it's up 50%. Since I think they adopted more recently. I don't remember exactly when they adopted. Maybe they said here. Yeah, May 28. Okay, May 28. Since they adopted the Bitcoin strategy, they are up 129%. Okay, what was their market cap then? 200 million, something like that maybe? And they bought basically half of the market cap in less than a year. Half of the starting market cap. And they've outperformed drastically. It seems like they're going to keep on buying more Bitcoin too, which is going to buoy up their stock price. It's pretty interesting. And then Suriname, maybe I'm saying that wrong, Suriname presidential candidate vows to make Bitcoin legal tender. Now, where is this? This is a country in South America. They have about twice the GDP of El Salvador, a very resource abundant nation. Maya Parpo, hopefully I'm saying that right, pledges to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, replacing the Suriname dollar with sat and paying salaries in BTC. Now, who knows if she's going to become president? I tried to figure out some information on what the markets look like, who they're betting on. Kind of hard to see from my knowledge, but this is nice to see that there are more countries talking about this, thinking about this, more candidates trying to push this narrative. And we know that there are already a handful of people that are very pro-crypto, a handful of pro-crypto presidents that will push this kind of thing forward. And we will see more countries in the next 4 years that have Bitcoin on their balance sheet, that have Bitcoin as legal tender. So we also have news that Sui is teaming up with Babylon Labs, Lombard, and Cubist to integrate Bitcoin into their DeFi ecosystem. Obviously, there's a lot of liquidity on Bitcoin. There's a lot of money in Bitcoin. So I've seen more companies talking about this, more layer ones talking about trying to integrate Bitcoin into their ecosystems to unlock some of that liquidity, to unlock some of that volume, which is really cool. We also have news of $100 billion asset manager WisdomTree registering in Delaware for a spot XRP ETF. Okay, this is really interesting. Obviously, XRP is kind of in rarefied air. There are only a handful of companies right now that are real, or a handful of cryptos that are really given the rubber stamp of approval by the SEC, mostly due to investigations. We know Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP right now are essentially labeled non-securities. I think there's still going to be a future where these securities can be put into ETFs, but right now, XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin are kind of given the stamp of approval. I would not be surprised if Solana also got an ETF and there were more ETFs in the future, but it is interesting to see this. It will take a while, right? This is not something like, oh, next Tuesday, spot ETF gets approved. No, I think Solana's deadline for one of the companies I was looking at was like August of next year, something like that. So this will take a while, but I could see this kind of being like the thing that blows off the top at the end of this bull run. Like we see nation states adopting, there are a lot of people throwing money into the market, and then there's these news of these ETFs, and that's kind of like the peak excitement. And then maybe it starts a little bit slower than people expect. Maybe something blows up, and then we go through a bit of a bear market or drawdown or something like that. Who knows? But this is good news for XRP holders. I'm sure they are quite excited here today. And it'll be interesting to see how this develops. Again, if you want to trade crypto, there is the link to BTCC. Of course, make sure you do your own due diligence and make sure that you're comfortable with the risks of trading on an exchange. So let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. It is exciting. There are lots of companies buying Bitcoin, adding it to their balance sheets. This seems to be the narrative, like treasury asset / national reserve asset this bull run. It'll be really interesting to see how this develops. Thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.